Hi, I'm Alison Bush, or the Cake Doctor. I'm going to show you today how to make sugar lavender using Renshaw's flour modelling paste. I'm also going to use a click stick. This is daisy cutter click stick, which I find really useful. And that's pretty much it. It's really simple, straightforward to do. It's another one of these ones where you literally just push it on and leave it alone. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is take a half length of 24 wire and put a hook in the top. I'm then going to take a piece of florist tape, elongate it to activate the glue, and I'm going to tape this from top to bottom. Okay, so turn the wire, keep the tape taut. There you go, dead easy. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually add a little blob of purple flour modelling paste. Now I've coloured this was white, and I've coloured it with Sugar Flare purple. It's quite a nice little colour, this one is. It's a nice warm purple colour. So I'm just going to pinch a little bit of that off, and I am going to thread this over the top, and you want to taper it down so it's got a fat head and a tapered body. Okay, at this point you leave it to dry, and that needs to dry completely overnight. But in true Blue Peter fashion, here's one I made earlier. Okay, so I've rolled the paste out nice and thin. It needs to be the thickness of parchment paper, and I'm now going to use this click stick. Now some people find click sticks really hard to use, and they're actually, they're really easy once you know what to do. So if I give you the anatomy of it first of all, it's in two layers. So the bottom side has got your cutting edge on it. You've then got this sort of spring section here, which is really important, and then there's a piece on the top which is for pushing down on. When we're cutting out, you hold the edges of the click stick, so you don't put any pressure on the top here. It is all on the edges. So you push it down, give it a wiggle, make sure it's cut all the way through. What I then do is turn it over, and I just run my hand over it to make sure that each piece is cut through properly. Peel off the excess like that, turn it over, and then that's when you press the top and pop them out, and they literally just pop out. We don't want those two because they're too big, so we want these three little ones. Let's say this is the daisy, the click stick daisy cutter. You could, if you didn't have this, you could very easily just use a tiny daisy cutter and cut them out individually. I like this because it does three at a time, and I'm lazy, and that does it quickly for me. So, and it's as simple as putting a tiny little blob of edible glue in the centre of each one, like that. Taking your wire, and you're going to thread one of those all the way up, and this one is actually going to fit around the bottom of that bead that we made. Let's pull this off. There we go, that's it. And then we're going to do the same again with this one. And the trick with this is to pinch it onto the wire. So you just pinch a little bit with the bottom of your fingers. Don't be worrying too much about primping them out and making them look all fancy. You want them a little bit tatty, so literally pinch it on. You then leave a bit of a gap and then put another section in. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Here's one I did previously. So I've got 3 there, I've then got 5, there's 4 there, and there's 3 there. But I leave a little gap in between each section because it makes it look more realistic. So the only job, this is pretty much done now. I could leave it at this stage if I wanted to, but it actually looks better if you give it a little bit of dust. So that's our next job. So to dust them is really simple. I've got Sugar Flare African Violet here. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of this onto here, and then using one of my cheap Primark brushes. I'm going to just pick a little bit of dust up and give them a very light dusting all over. I'm not working into the cracks or anything. I'm just giving them a very, very light dusting. And I go from the bottom upwards on each one. Don't push too hard because they are actually very fragile and they will break. It doesn't matter too much because lavender is a little bit tatty. But what you don't want is to make it look so tatty you wouldn't want to put it on a cake. I've done these. I did these for a wedding cake, but I did them blue and put them with lilies, and they were absolutely gorgeous. So pretty. Because lavender does come in all sorts of shades, from very, very light purple to right through to dark purples to pale blues, even pinks. So you can play with it. There we go. And just to show you what a difference that colour makes, there you go, side by side. How lovely is that? And they really do. They add texture to a bouquet because you can have a spray of roses and things, but if you put a little bit of lavender in there, it's got the height, and it just softens the whole bouquet for you. It's lovely. Okay, I hope you found that informative.